And of course I have some sympathy with that point of view, that art is something that takes time, but I'm not sure we should define it as work. Work to me is something that you get paid for. And I think that what we need to be, what we need to find in the museum is a possibility of a different angle on our current condition, a different way of thinking about the world. It's a very ambitious idea, but I think it's about thinking about the world. And that doesn't have to happen with great effort. It can be a moment of inspiration. It can be a moment of insight that an artwork can give. So the question asked about the Mladen Stalinovic, and he felt that it was, I suppose, a kind of trivial work because it was a work of an artist asleep in a series of him falling asleep in bed. Taken, if we look, as the question says, quite close up. And he says, well, who does the work here? What's this all about? Isn't this a very trivial artwork? I don't think it's triviality is the issue. Because if we think about this process of being at work while asleep, then we start to understand that the effort that we might pay to an artwork is something that happens over a longer period of time, and that the artist themselves is somebody who's generating ideas constantly, who's generating possibility constantly. So we don't divide up our life into work, eating, sex, sleep, work, eat, sex, sleep, etc. in that circle. We actually see, as I think somebody like Mladen Stalinovic sees, that all these things are interconnected. Now that seems to me quite a profound thought. It allows us to understand the 24 hours of a day differently. It allows us to understand that we as human beings aren't regulated by the clock and aren't regulated by our bosses, but are actually regulated by our own imagination, our internal system. So he's working when he's asleep as an artist. And doesn't that make you think about certain activities that you might do, and what exactly is involved when you're working, or when you're thinking, or when you're sleeping, or when you're having sex, or whatever, all these activities? Isn't there something else behind them than the superficial activity that you're doing? Isn't a lot of work, for instance, an excuse for doing something else? And I think that happens in that artwork through looking at it. Now you can say that's my personal interpretation, of course it is. But I think it's evident in looking at those photographs that there's a story behind them. That somebody with intention has made that into an artwork, has had those photographs taken of him asleep. Now why would somebody do it? Are you not curious about that? Does it not mean that somebody thought that this was important, thought this was significant? They didn't do it as a joke. They did it because they believed that it was something important that they wanted to say there. Now if you take that seriously, then I think you come somewhere to quite a profound realization of our domination of the clock, our idea of work itself, and our idea of how we pass our time.